In the Lady Death series, we find ourselves in the Endless Graveyard as Lady Death submerges Purgatory in the river Styx, as Lady Death seeks to extract the truth from Purgatory with the help of the river Styx, as Lady Death believed Lucifer's essence was inside her. Purgatory goes on to explain she was a lowly vampire at the height of the Great Egyptian era. Purgatory would grow tired of the blood of humanity, so she would sacrifice thousands of them in order to summon Lucifer. But it was not Lucifer she wanted, it was the blood of the dark god. And upon drinking Lucifer's blood, Lucifer grew angry, but instead of destroying Purgatory, he simply banished her beyond the Nexus. Purgatory came to Necropolis, home to a sect of Roman deities, and she was free to feast on their blood for thousands of years. But eventually, she grew tired of the blood of the demigods as she wanted more. She needed to escape, and eventually, her opportunity would come. As Purgatory escaped through the Nexus, she would encounter the mother of Lady Death at the gates of heaven, but she would never make it through heaven's gates, as Purgatory would kidnap her for her own means. 400 years would pass, and every day, Purgatory would visit the mother of Lady Death as she seeked to learn more about the Lady of Death. Purgatory built a kingdom with many under her rule, but as the fallen angels returned from the abyss to claim sovereignty over everything, her kingdom was perhaps the first one to fall. Not willing to risk her own existence, Purgatory would use the soul of Lady Death's mother as a bridge back to hell. Purgatory tells Lady Death her plan was simple. She would push her to the edge and then break her and then gorge on her blood, as the blood of Lady Death would make her so powerful she'd be able to face countless fallen angels. Enraged, Lady Death entwines Purgatory with a rope of death magic and chokes her as she's pissed about her stopping her mother from making it to heaven. But as the ground splits and fire spews from every crevice, Lucifer the Dark One returns, and he taunts Lady Death for even believing she conquered his realm to begin with. Purgatory and Lady Death are both thrown back by the explosion as they're both stunned to see Lucifer. Lady Death grabs her blade as she knows she must take decisive action and end this quickly, but it's no use as her blade flies out of her hand. Lady Death charges Lucifer as she's defeated him once, and she believes she can do it again, but it's no use as she's easily repelled and Lucifer tells her to shut up. Purgatory gets on her knees and appeals to Lucifer, but he's not even interested in her as he's more interested in Lady Death. Lucifer grabs Lady Death by the hair and taunts her for believing herself to be queen of his realm to begin with. Lucifer points towards Lady Death's mansion at the Eternal Graveyard, and the place is instantly decimated with little to no effort on his part. Lucifer grabs Lady Death by the neck and he taunts her as she has so many questions and she's so confused, but she's just starting to realize the futility of her existence at this point. Lucifer tells Lady Death to submit as it's time he welcomes her to hell. Lucifer commands Lady Death to bow, but she refuses as she still believes she controls her own destiny, but Lucifer tells her she controls nothing as she can't even control her body, and she starts to bow to the Dark One. Lucifer grabs Lady Death with a fiery chain by the neck, and he explains that before time began, he was an official in the heavenly court, and he was called the Son of Morning Light. But Lucifer would betray the heavenly court, and he would be banished from the heavens and never allowed to return. Many angels followed him. Many were fallen, and many were broken. Nevertheless, some went to earth, while others went their separate ways. Lucifer relished in providing temptation and luring people away from the path of God. But as fallen angels would lay with the daughters of man, they would birth nothing but monstrosities. Some of these monsters were vampires, others were demons, but overall they were creatures of the night, but Lucifer refers to them as his own. He goes on to tell Lady Death that her mother and father were unique, one of the darkness and one of the light. In other words, Lady Death has had the light and the darkness inside of her this whole time, but she chose the darkness. But Lady Death refuses to give in to the father of lies as she impales him with her blade and she spews death magic into his face. But it's no use, as Lucifer entwines her and shows her visions of the past and taunts her for having the light and the dark inside of her, but choosing the dark side this whole time. As Lady Death is on the floor bleeding from Lucifer's onslaught, he tells her that he's her controller, her master, and her destiny. All of Lady Death's friends from past and present rise out of the ground as they grab her and carry her towards some kind of conversion chamber that says all hope abandoned. Now Lucifer tells Purgatory he's displeased with her as he showed her mercy a millennia ago, and this is how she repays him by forcing him to show his hand early. Lucifer asks what her punishment should be, but Purgatory tells him that his presence is punishment enough. Meanwhile, as Lady Death is placed in a coffin by all her friends and family, she can no longer resist as all her friends and family start turning into demonic machinations. As Lady Death is in the coffin, she prays to her mother, stating that she'll always love her, but she's sorry as she's so tired. She can't fight anymore. She thinks about her curse, her destiny, her darkness as she surrenders. As Lucifer opens the chamber, asking if she's chosen the path, Lady Death emerges, stating that she's his, as she boasts in all new sexy ass demonic and devilish form. To be continued.